So now you know that homemade granola is one of my pantry staples, whether I'm at home or in the RV. It's really easy to make, even in camp, so now I'm going to show you how. To make your own homemade granola, or in this case, skillet granola, you're going to take a couple of cups of rolled oats, or quick oats if you have them. You're going to add a few dry ingredients. Whatever you have on hand will work, but in this case, I'm going to add about a cup of coconut flakes, and then a couple cups of mixed nuts. In this case, I've got some whole raw almonds, some sunflower seeds, and some raw pumpkin seeds. And I'm going to combine all these ingredients in a big bowl. To that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of flaxseed, ground. The reason for this is it's just going to help create a few little chunks in my granola. And again, these are the ingredients that I have on hand today, but if you have a few others, they'll work out just great. Next, I'm going to add some maple syrup. This is what's going to sweeten up my granola. I'm going to be pretty generous with this. I'm going to add a big pinch of sea salt, flaky sea salt, and then I'm going to add some ground cinnamon, and I'll stir it all together. The exact measurements for how to make this recipe at home are in your recipe documents, but as you can see, I'm eyeballing it and it's going to work just great, so trust your instincts. I'm going to stir this up so that the maple syrup coats all of the other ingredients pretty evenly, which happens in a flash. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn on the heat on my stove. To the skillet, I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of ghee. You could also do this with coconut oil or olive oil if you have it, but ghee will be delicious, so let's make that happen. And I'm being pretty generous with this as well. We'll let the ghee melt in the skillet and coat the skillet evenly. I'm going to go ahead and transfer my oat and nut mixture to this big skillet. And this is a nice recipe to make on a morning when you've got a little bit of time in camp and you're making coffee or you're going to go for a swim. So all you need to do is just kind of be around to let it stir, but you don't need to stand over the skillet the entire time. So I'm going to stir this briefly to coat the oats in the ghee that I put into the pan. And then I'm just going to let the heat of the pan do its magic. It'll toast all the ingredients, it'll cook the maple syrup a little bit, and give the granola a nice crisp texture. The time it'll take for this to cook properly depends on the quantity of granola in your pan. I've got a pretty big pan of granola going here, and I bet it'll take about 10 minutes for me to toast it incomplete. But you can also do about a half batch and just use a few ingredients. Say you're just making enough to put onto 1 bowl of oatmeal, and that'll toast up in about 5 minutes. So my granola is almost done. I've been stirring it sporadically for the past 10 minutes or so. And as I've been doing so, the granola has been getting a little bit of color, and I can see it on the nuts and on the coconut. It's also starting to smell really, really fragrant. So those are the keys that I'm using to know when it's finished. Give it a little taste for texture. I just want to know that it's a little bit crunchy. It's a little bit crunchy, which is perfect. I'm gonna let my skillet of granola chill out for maybe 5 minutes and crisp up just a bit. Then it'll be ready to enjoy on top of porridge bowls or oatmeal bowls, yogurt with berries, anywhere you like. Thank you so much for joining me as we cooked through this 2-day adventure menu. I truly feel there's nothing that makes an adventure better than delicious food to go with it, and so I hope you found some inspiration for how to up-level the nutrition and the flavor in your foods, whether you're cooking at home, in camp, or in your RV. If you make any of the recipes here, or if you've got something delicious you want to share with me when you're out on the road, feel free to tag me at Lentine Alexis on Instagram. I'd love to see what you're up to.